I almost popped all my balloons.
When you get to be old like me, you pop all your balloons.
No, I just want to play catch, but I can't play
Anyways.
catch anymore.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Psycho Players. Always power up a coffee each and every time because that is how this works. Yes. This thing that you guys are, I noticed this here. Hi, first of all, hello, James and Jim. That's kind of funny. They must have oh boy, they must have a because they didn't have like a preview system before. Maybe they added something. I don't know. All right, grandson, show them real quick and then do your thing real quick before I get into what I'm going to talk about today. Nothing bad. Pretty much we're gonna. This was an impromptu stream. I was not planning on doing this today.
You can't wear because I'm
all right. You got that out of your system. Okay. Anywho, I love him. He's something else. So, because normally I do Saturday shows. And by the way, I know it's Sunday and I haven't even bothered to look. I'm assuming Mayo's on one end of it and then George Borden's going to be on the other end of the things. So I'm just shoving myself in between. That didn't sound right, but I don't care. Hi, Tyler. How are you? Okay. Yes. Yeah, he was at a Lilo Stitch party. All right. Here, let me show them the balloon. I want to look this. All right, yeah, Stitch. Okay, all right, off you go. You can come back later.
Where's Kira's buddy?
Toby's actually over on the other side over there too.
No.
He's not on tonight. George isn't on tonight? That kind of surprises me. Well, maybe, yeah. They must start doing previews now. Nobody, StreamYard didn't tell me, neither did Facebook. But it gave you time for you guys to set yourselves up. Now, I know you're sitting here probably going, as I said, well, usually the idiot's on Saturday nights. He's on, this is Sunday. Sunday. Union Grove Tracks. No, because I wanted to, that's why. And I just got back from Jonesboro, Arkansas. Remember we had talked about this trip? Very interesting trip, to tell you the honest truth. I have never, ever been there. That is the most northeast. How you doing, Mike? The most northeast that I've been in the state of Arkansas. Me and my manager, Donna Cho Cat Lady, we went off to a Legends of Memphis Wrestling Fan Fest and a 3-hour wrestling program. Thanks to, okay, enough for now. You can come back in a little bit. Thank you. Love you. Anyways, so the wrestling courtesy of Mid-States Wrestling and Southern Illinois Championship Wrestling. They had different people going on the cards last night, and we'll get to that. I know it's not all going to be wrestling centric, but this was half the reason why I came out. Have you ever watched Louis Theroux on wrestling? It's BBC. You know what, Martin? I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to write that down because I have watched some of the old school English wrestling, actually. And what was it? Big Daddy, and there was a couple other ones, and I was just like, wow, trying to get my damn blank sheet of paper here. But yeah, Louis Theroux. All right, we'll write that on the list. We start a new piece of paper. I hope everybody is having a good day, had a good weekend. Now, I know I went off and I got the title here, Wrestling with Regret. Rest in peace, Martin Mull. Well, obviously you guys can figure out, rest in peace to Martin Mull. I liked his comedy. I loved Fernwood Tonight. I liked his appearances on Roseanne, and he was on something else too. Okay. But wrestling with regret is what we're going to start with first. I have summoned the VC Justice League. I have got a possible another one that it's all good. SS. That's what I'm going to call you now because it's too much. It's all right, SS. We'll get this all figured out. George, how you doing? How you doing? I hope, like I said, that you got to catch the Four Seasons reference I mentioned in an episode several episodes ago. What that would have been was, of course, be Bob Crew and Charlie Colello and Diane Renee's Navy Blue LP. Hey, Jim. And the thing is, like I said, Jonesboro, Arkansas, 5 hours away. Okay. Never been there. We get there. I'm a nerd. I'm a food nerd. Okay. For some reason, I like going to places. And we're talking about, fast food that barely exists anymore. Okay. Paragould, Arkansas, which was only 30 minutes past where I went, was the only Dog and Suds in the state of Arkansas. Now, if you've never been to a Dog and Suds, they had at one point, if I remember correctly, 400 to 500 locations nationwide, and their popularity was in the 60s and 70s and early 80s. They started kind of whittling down. Mine in Crystal Lake, Illinois, unfortunately, the blizzard of 79 took it out. It collapsed the whole entire, because it's a drive restaurant with the thing. Caved the whole damn thing in. Okay, we never got it back. And then the other one in McHenry, that one shut down like by 81. So very depressed. If you live in Illinois, there's 4 of those. If you live in Wisconsin, Tomahawk, Wisconsin. If you live in Michigan, there's 2 in Michigan. The one in Paragould, Arkansas, and there's one more. Other than that, really good food. Check it all out. You will not be sorry. Penny Lane, in my ears, in my eyes. Oh, it's okay. I guess I kind of blurted out the surprise, but that's what that was about. And you know what? I love ECW. I love old time wrestling. We're going to be, like I said, if you're not a wrestling fan, be patient. We will talk about music in a little bit. Okay. I do have some things that I saved from the broadcast I was going to do. So we'll show some records later, but I want to just talk for a little bit here. So basically, like I said, we've got 1 or 2 that told me that they might be able to be on. It just might be in a little while. I said, that's perfectly fine. People have lives, and I didn't kind of warn them in advance that I was going to be doing this. This was kind of last minute here. And I'm not going to do it for this time. I'm not doing it for like 2.5, 3 hours. Okay. I say that all the time, but, my son, everybody, they're Minecraft people. And so they want to do some Minecrafting. And I'm like, cool, I'll just be on for a while. So thank you. I appreciate to the 10 people here that have patience to put up with this big fat ass. But here's the thing. I think I told you guys earlier in the week, I was bummed out. I was depressed. You know what? I needed this weekend. Oh, I really did. And I thank my manager, Donna Joe Cat Lady, and everyone else involved for just giving in. But Jim, let me tell you something. What we're really going to be talking about is old school. They were on from the 1970s to, I think, 2002, if I remember correctly. Wait a minute. Did you say porn?
I said foreigner.
Oh, foreigner. He loves, my son John loves to go off and he'll say, and he knows what foreigner is, but like if Journey comes on or Toto, he'll go, hey, this is Foreigner, isn't it? And he knows he's going to get me with that because I'll be like, but I know he's kidding. Most of the time. Anywho, that too. And spoiler alert, if you didn't see SmackDown, Paul Heyman told the truth, and he is out as the wise man of the bloodline. 58-year-old man went right through the table. Ooh, because the rest of Bloodline 2.0 put him there. See, now, like I said, that would be cool. There's a great documentary on the KC territory, Harley Race area, indeed. Now, today, or should I say this past weekend, I'm going to show you guys a couple things. But let me show you, this was the promo poster that they had online. Legends of Memphis Wrestling. This is what I went to yesterday. If you know Jonesboro at all, Earl Bell Center near downtown. It was, I guess, back in the day, going back to the 70s, Jonesboro was a stronghold of Memphis wrestling. That's right. And it was on, I guess, if you lived in the Memphis area, Channel 5, it was on there for many, 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 many years. And, I've been watching a lot of old tapes, okay, and it was pretty decent. I kind of liked it, all right, for what it was worth. Then I think it turned into USWA wrestling or something like that and continued. But, you had some central figures. Now, as you could maybe see, or I'm going to go from the top down, okay? And now I know it's reversed, but we're just going to say, okay, Superstar Bill Dundee, Cowboy Bob Orton in the top front row. Second row is Coco Beware, Dr. D, David Schultz, Jerry Calhoun, the referee. Followed by underneath Coco was Downtown Bruno. You also had Ricky Morton, okay? And then, damn it, hang on a minute. Oh, yeah, Jerry Calhoun was up there. Doug Gilbert, excuse me, right next to Jerry Calhoun. Okay, and then you get, of course, Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, Tommy Rich, Kerry Morton, which is Ricky Morton's kid, right next to Ricky Morton, and Bushwhacker Luke. So you have everybody was there for this thing. They were supposed to have a women's wrestler too, champion, I guess, but I don't recall seeing her table unless she was very secretive, okay? So this one here is signed, okay, because these were like 10 apiece. So Jerry the King Lawler, Dr. D, David Schultz, and Cowboy Bob Orton signed this for me, which I was very grateful for that. I'm led to believe that this might be Jerry the King Lawler's last go-around in regards to conventions. I could have sworn I heard that, and I'll just say allegedly, all right, for that type of work. Wow, nice poster. Never heard of this wrestling. Glad to see small groups going strong. Well, that's the thing, though. This was roughly from the mid-'70s to about 02. This particular, mid-states is really what kind of, there's Arkansas, Missouri, a dabble in Oklahoma. That's really what they do. The Southern Illinois Championship Wrestling, if I remember, Jim, there was a gentleman there that he used to work with, what was his name? At the Chase Ballroom. One of those dudes was there last night, not a wrestler, but one of the promoters that was there, okay? Definitely some big names on there. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to show you a couple things. I'm going to tell you a couple things. So all of these wrestlers, they had their own tables, and this was not just them too. People brought merch. There was even somebody that brought in records too, but only one case of records. There was some so-so stuff I dabbled through. Prices I thought were a little higher, like maybe 25% higher than what I'm accustomed to. Yeah, St. Louis Wrestling at the Chase. And you know what? I wouldn't even have known anything about that if it wasn't for the wrestling documentary I saw on that. Great documentary on Wrestling at the Chase. So, so there was people that had baseball cards and wrestling memorabilia, and one guy even had some comic books. So, it was a little bit of mix in, which was kind of nice.
Daddy.
And so let's see. So I showed you the poster. I did buy some books. Okay, got them autographed. Now, as far as for Dr. D, David Schultz, and if you're a wrestling fan, get these. If you don't know about these, don't call me fake. That's what this is called. Don't call me fake. The real story of Dr. D, David Schultz. Forward by Bret Hart. Yes. And he signed this to me. And this book came out in, there is some pictures in here, but they're maybe a little bit fuzzy. So I'm not going to 2019. This came out in 2019. It is not in small print. It's actually in medium-sized print. Let me see if I can show you. Okay, here we go. I'll give you one picture. Dr. D and the Iron Sheik, eyewitnesses to the Stossel incident. Oh boy. And I'll tell you what I said to him in a minute. Watch the video for yourself. He wasn't surprised how things went down. No one was. Now, I said to Dr. D, because I think he was, and I said, there's one thing I'd like to talk to you about, Mr. Schultz. And he looked at me and he's like, And I go, I know you're sick of talking about this, but I got to tell you something. I may be in the minority out there, but what you did, I don't disagree. I said Stossel was a punk on 2020. He thought he was going to be a wise ass. And did Dr. D go over the line? Sure, a little bit. A little bit. He always was kind of known for being angry anyway. But Stossel was being a punk. He was egging him on. At least that's the opinion I have, okay? If we're being 100% honest, most of us never heard. You're right. You're absolutely right. I didn't know about it until Kaufman either. We didn't get to see that in Chicagoland. But after I saw the Kaufman, I'm like, ooh, this could be quite interesting. Yes, and he failed miserably. I never liked him. Yes, complete with mustache. You betcha. And so, it's not like John Stossel's going to fucking watch this show. But Stossel, you were a punk back then. You know it. You thought you were going to be cute. And Dr. D schooled you. Okay? That's all there is to it. Now, I did get another signed book. By the way, I did get pictures. If you have Paul Pease on Facebook, I show me and Donna Cho with Jerry the King Lawler and Dr. D. And then there's solo one with me and Cowboy Bob Orton. Okay, so I got to meet these people. And everyone was nice. Even if you didn't go off and get autographs, they shook your hand. You could yippity yappity if they wasn't too busy in line. The biggest line was Jerry the King Lawler, and we'll talk about that in a minute too. Then I have another book here from the Grappler, if you people remember who the Grappler is. And if you don't, that's quite all right. He was a masked wrestler. Got him to sign that for me too. Now, his real name is Lynn Denton, okay? And forward to this book, Rowdy Roddy Piper. Yeah, Rowdy Roddy Piper. Back when, God rest in peace, Rowdy, rest in peace. This book came out in 2014. So let's see. On the back here, here's a picture of the Grappler. Let's see if I can find one more for you. This here from 1979, it's really kind of unclear. Could it be him and JYD? I don't know. Or maybe Ernie Thunderbolt Patterson. I have really no clue on that. There's not too many photographs in this Grappler book. But he was really, really nice. Now, why am I showing you this? Give me a second. Stossel was a pencil neck geek. Pencil neck geek. I would have loved to have met Blassie and Bobby the Brain Heenan. I'll tell you something, guys. Bobby the Brain Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon, some of the best tag team commentators in television, along with, Jerry the King Lawler and Jim Ross. I'd love to meet Jim Ross, but I know he's not really doing too well health-wise. I hope he gets better. Jerry the King Lawler, of course, had a stroke earlier in the year too. Okay, really. See, now I don't know. The markets for that stuff would have been really. I miss Gorilla. La 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 la. He was cool. Miscarriage of justice. So I asked Mr. Grappler. I'm being polite, Mr. Grappler. One question, just one, and I said, "Is it true that you were the first wrestler to receive a DDT?" Because it wasn't in the lexicon of wrestling at that time. Was he the first wrestler to get a DDT from Jake the Snake Roberts, one of my other favorite wrestlers. What Grappler told me was, well, that's correct, but the creation of the DDT was an accident. And I'm going, what? He goes, it's actually might be in here, he says, but he told me a short version. Early 80s, like 80, 81. Grappler and Jake the Snake and a bunch of other people were down in Louisiana doing a show. It was hot, very hot, humid. You know how that is. Oh, God, we'll tell you about the Earl Bell Center in a minute, too. But so it was hot. Everybody was sweaty, condensation everywhere. Originally, they called for a different move, similar to a headlock, but not quite. So as it happens, because everybody was sweaty, somebody slipped. Everyone went nuts. The announcers didn't even know what to call the damn thing. And then later in the match, they're bouncing around, and Grappler goes, "Do it again," and just wham, and everybody went insane. And so, because he says they had the circuit, he goes, there was like an 8-town circuit. A couple shows later, they did it again, and the audience went nuts. And by that time, the commentators were the one that called it the DDT. That's what he said. So I thought that was pretty damn cool. Will says Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan were the amazing, but fail in comparison to the great Tony Schiavone. I like Schiavone. I am glad that he's in AEW. I always liked Schiavone. I never liked Bischoff. Remember when Bischoff was a broadcaster? Nah, I didn't even like when Vinnie Mac was a broadcaster. I don't know if it was just his tone. I couldn't deal with Vinnie Mac as a commentator. I was so glad that he, but what was it back then? Jesse the Body Ventura, sometimes Captain Lou Albano, Vinnie Mac, bunch of people. If somebody was like really, really hurt, instead of just sitting on their ass at home, sometimes they're going, you're going to do commentary for a couple of weeks, so they could, use them the most. So Earl Bell Center, 2 out of 3 of the air conditioned compressors went out the morning of the event. And I swear to God, they were working last night, and we're like, oh God. And it was 95 degrees yesterday. So no AC. They tried to keep, the indoor doors were stayed open. The only AC that worked is if you went to the bathroom. The men's and ladies' bathroom, you could get all the AC you wanted in there. And so that's what I did several times. And I'm like, thank God, at least one of the water fountains was operational too. I'm like, thank you, thank you, thank you. So the WrestleFest went great. Like I said, met all these people and then some. And I'll tell you who I also bumped into too. That's right. Taz was a commentator. I would have rather seen him in ECW than commentating. Sorry, it's just me. Just my opinion. So, but the business card is in the other room, so I'm not going to grab it. But I got to talk to King Kong Bundy's kid. So I think he's Bruce. I don't know if I'm going to get this right. Bruiser Bill Bundy or something like that. And he looked like him. And I'm like, and I asked him, I said, are you? He goes, oh, yes. He goes, but currently right now I got injured about a month back. He goes, and I'm still working on it. He goes, but yes, I have been in this for many. I mean, look at all the second and the third generation wrestlers that have been out and about all of these years amongst all the federations and the indie and stuff like that. I was hoping last night, because like I said, there was a 3-hour card that I thought hopefully either Miranda Gordy, Terry Gordy's daughter, who wrestles in that Mid-States League, and Luke Langley, who he was briefly on AEW about 2 months back. in a televised match. Did a couple dark horse matches too, dark matches, excuse me. That's the matches you don't see on television that to get the audience pumped up. Yeah, yeah, there you go. I did. Like I said, I went on this trip. I really needed to go on the trip, and I'm glad I did. And hopefully, I'm going to try to do, unless like it's winter and it's really crappy weather. I would like to go maybe on a trip. I don't know, every 6 weeks if I could get away with it, even if it's an overnighter, just to get away for a while, recharge my batteries, whether solo or as a duo. I don't know. I don't care. So, but yeah, so I mean, just the AC blew out, and then, but like I said, I got to talk to these people, really, really cool. And Bundy was cool. He's actually was he's got a podcast too, I guess. And eventually I asked him, I told him about our channel here, and down the line, if we could plan it out, he would gladly be on here for an interview. Yeah, we're gonna maybe try to get away with doing a couple wrestling ones a year too, because I just love doing that stuff. And but Jimmy Hart, I met him. I talked to him again last night, and he's like, "Hey, baby, how you doing?" Like he always says. That's the third time I've seen him in 6 months. I think he remembered. I mean, he deals with like probably 10,000 people a year, but amazingly enough, I think he had that light of recognition for me and Donna Joe Cat Lady, because but yeah, so and of course the Gentrys got an award last month, I think, if I remember correctly, from the Memphis Music Hall of Fame for Keep On Dancing and the Gentrys and all that other stuff. And so hopefully the planets will align, and maybe we'll have Jimmy Meltzer South Heart in the future of this show. So we'll wind the wrestling thing down here in about a minute or two. But so basically, the matches last night, there was a lot of them. It ended with a 15-man battle royale. Those battle royales are nuts. I mean, I don't know. I like them and I don't like them. I mean, I like seeing all the wrestlers, okay, because you get some that weren't even on the card showed out there, okay. And but the thing is, once they're all in there, it's not like Royal Rumble where everybody's timed. No, all 15 of them show up in there. Now, thank God this time around, being in the front row like I was, I didn't hear a kneecap go pop like I did at the last one in December. Oh God, we all heard it in the front row. I'm like when he landed on that floor. Okay, and there was no mats, by the way. There wasn't any mats last night either. It was straight hardwood floor, and no injuries that we know of. But when you got all 15 people all at once, it's really hard to see all the damn action. You're having to jump like everywhere. But when you get to like about half a dozen, then at least you can concentrate better. At least that's my opinion. But once again, I'd like to thank Mid-States Wrestling and Southern Illinois Championship Wrestling, along with, I think there was one other federation that briefly dropped in on that. Now, out of all the wrestlers, like I said, everybody was nice, and everybody looked good. I talked to Lawler briefly and wished him well, and continued prayers. I'm going to hate to say this, but out of all the ones that I met yesterday, Bill Dundee looked worse for wear. Of course, he had a stroke earlier this year too. Continued prayers of healing for him as well, because, I mean, let's face it, that Jerry the King Lawler superstar Bill Dundee feuds that they had on and off through the 70s and 80s. I mean, shit, that was some great stuff back then. I'm probably forgetting stuff, but whatever. It doesn't matter. So I'm trying to think here, guys. Was there anything music news? I like I said, this was so impromptu. I didn't bother. Okay, so listen, I see you. Here's my thing. Here's the thing. I need to see you. Get it? You could, after I see you, you could go back to Avatar for all I care. I just want to see you. Now, if you're not up for that, I respect that. I'm just letting you know that that's how this works here on this channel. I'm not mentioning who it is, by the way, yet. So totally up to you, but I'm not going to go and put you up here until I see you. Yeah, you know, maybe it's a dickhead move. It's not intent. Okay, I respect that. I'm not trying to be a jerk or a dickhead or whatever anybody wants to call me. This is my rules, and it's been those rules since I started this show about 3 years ago. Thank you very much for your understanding. I appreciate that. If you want, I have no objections. If you want to email me, we'll yippee yap if you like, or we could talk privately elsewhere. I don't care. That's fine with me. Yeah, my email's in the channel description. Darren, how you doing? How you doing? Oh boy. Okay, so we go. Well, you know what? I like this guy. Okay, I just do. Some of you people do, some of you people don't. I don't like everything he does, but I like the man in general. We talk about all kinds of things. So, yes. No, and excuse me for 1 second. Since you kind of said yourself, you're right. And that's what I'm saying, but I just want visuals. I want visuals, and of who I'm dealing with, and then they don't have to stay like that through the whole broadcast. You could drop back to Avatar for all I would care. It's just, this is just how I am. So saying that, not to stoke any fires, here we are.
What's up, Paul? How you doing tonight?
Shirt say? I'm looking at your T-shirt, buddy. What's it say?
It says, "Don't call me Doughboy." It's,
oh boy.
Do you recognize who the face is?
Not entirely.
So it's like the Pillsbury Doughboy, but it's actually Ice Cube's face.
Oh boy,
because he has a song lyric. No, is that song lyric in "I make dough, but don't call me Doughboy." Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, we all know that phrase too. Yes. So that was before the "check yourself before you wreck yourself" was "I make dough, but I'm not a doughboy." Okay. Oh, that's good to know.
No, yeah, no, that lyric. It's
wait
the
a
lyrics
second.
in the song.
What was that?
On my head, don't call me a peas head.
Oh boy. Okay. My son's being he's spitting. My son's spitting out. He likes rap too. If he's heard it.
No, that doesn't.
What?
That was a comedian.
Oh, never mind. I give up. Anyways, sorry. So go on.
Well, I was going to say, if he likes hip hop, I'm going to be doing a little something special tonight on my channel. So it's 8 o'clock, so about an hour from now.
My friend William in an hour from now
records.
Is going to spin hip hop records live. He does this. Ooh, what's the one here? Hang on a minute. I always like.
Well, this is probably going to be.
Yeah. Oh, Tribe Called Quest.
Hit the
Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah.
He says he loves Tribe Called Quest. Yeah.
Well, you'll be in good company tonight.
He's got. Yeah, I'm gonna go slang, but he's got a sick ass collection of rap records so far. I haven't seen everything, but what he shows is sick ass.
Does he got Naughty by Nature?
Does he got Naughty by Nature? That's
I'm not going to play any tonight. I'm
yes, but not tonight.
I'm playing the deep cuts unless people. Okay, what my idea? I'm going to play some songs for a little while. I'll put the StreamYard link, so if anyone wants to come up, shoot the shit, and then it's going to be a little bit. Try to do a little bit of DJing, mixing with conversation, or maybe I'm copying someone else's format right now. But
it's all good. It's
okay.
Like pink cookies in a plastic bag being crushed by a building.
Yeah, you know what we're talking about. I don't have that 12-inch. I actually have.
I love that song. I don't know why, but I do.
No, LL Cool J 12 inches were really easy to find. Those were like the ones that you would find. but I don't have that one anymore. At least, no, that's one that I've had like several copies of even.
They never played that one on the
I
radio. I found that on MTV. I tripped on it. It was like Yo MTV Raps. And I was watching that and I'm going, oh, okay.
No, that's one for Yo MTV Raps or BET Rap City. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but
not really, but that'd be something.
Yeah, no, that they're both long gone, but yeah, those were the hip hop video shows I would grow up on. But yeah, I'm gonna do a little hip hop set, but I saw you going live tonight, and
it was last minute. Will, because I just got back, so.
Yeah, no, so was mine. And okay, last night I was gonna plan this set, and then I watched Beetle Babe's karaoke thing.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know she did one.
Yeah, no, she did a little karaoke thing, and then she did a couple rap songs, and I was just like, I'm having fun with that. So I did a couple Beetle Babe parodies last night, and then I even finished him, and she was still streaming. But no, guys, go check that out. It actually it almost put a dent in my live stream tonight. And then Jason Rojas said, "Well, why don't you just still play records?" And sometimes it's all it takes is that guy asking you to play records, and that's all the motivation that you need. But
I like the stuff he plays from time to time too. I will catch him. I will.
Well, it's a lot. It's a great change from the morning show, I guess I'll say.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you betcha. But that's fine.
Yeah,
that is fine.
No, we got some hip hop selections tonight. I'm pretty rusty on the DJ skills, but I'm going to go pretty deep anyway. So I got Group Home Superstar. I'm going to be playing all the songs you don't know. I got like all the mixtape stuff. And then have you seen the movie Crooklyn from like 1994?
Holy crap. That's a long ass time ago.
Well, we're going to be celebrating 30-year anniversaries tonight. So I think this is
show that. Yeah.
Yep. Crooklyn Dodgers.
Yeah.
And then, no, I got, and it's not necessarily, if it's a 30th anniversary, I'll just say happy birthday. But gosh, I'm not the type of person to just, make some anniversary party or like a tribute video. I don't know.
Right.
Tried to make a tribute video. I feel like it's a fail. Or I don't know. I feel like I'm trying too hard to make something. But
yeah. Did you see this?
I never dropped a hate video on Beetle Babe, so
just thought I'd show. I always do. Paul is this. You know what? I'll tell you something. Even though I don't know. Well, no. Excuse me a second. So even though I mean, as far as for music wise is concerned, I don't have any objection being associated with anybody. Now, whatever politics or views or parody, non-parody, as everybody knows, I try to be Switzerland, and I know there's an old saying somewhere that if you sit on the fence long enough, you're going to get splinters up your ass. But yeah. I'm just saying here, as far as for a person, me and him have had once in a blue moon private chitty chats about music. I just talk about music. I don't go into any of the other stuff. So
yeah, well,
that is for everybody outside.
Sure. And I want to say, if that is the case, I made some video. Well, I mean, I don't keep up with Beetle Babe's personal life. I hardly ever talk to her. If she gave me a funny joke and I like to do parodies, so be it. I don't think anything I've done on her has been very offensive. But I will say the individual who just said that is purposely using this avatar to agitate me, as they say.
And we know about this said story, and we're just going to leave it at that for today anyway.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. No, I mean.
Who got shot?
Well, it's.
I heard who got shot.
It's the 4th of July. I mean, I live in a low crime area, so 4th of July.
Who got the $1 million wounds? Okay, listen. As far as for rap is concerned, did you ever watch Sopranos?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay,
not way into it, but I know what you're talking
about. Well, there's an episode where part of it has to do with some young up and coming rapper. Okay, and the conversation is going like, "Hey, if you get shot, your cred goes up, and people will know you better." Well, it was supposed to be shot in the leg. Instead, one of the Soprano guys shoots him in the ass, and he's like, "What the?" And he goes. And everybody goes, "Oh, you got $1 million woo, duh," because that's what they used to call it in the military. And so everybody, of course, was laughing at the rapper after that one because he got shot in the ass instead of the leg.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one, but
yeah, it's funny. It is a little funny.
Yeah, that show that's God, like 20 years ago now at this point, isn't it?
Oh, but I love that damn thing. Too bad that the principal players are. I mean, James Gandolfini. He did such a great job, and you were sucked into that show. And I love shows with good writing. That is what was. I normally wouldn't even have watched this, okay? But one of my bosses, and I know you guys are going to roll your eyes or chuckle. My boss at my part-time job, Blockbuster. Remember, this is early O's. So he goes and he dabbled in Hollywood type stuff. No, he wasn't waxy. He was way on, just helping. And he's like, if you like good writing, watch this. And I'm going, So because I had free DVD rentals, 5 of them a week, that's half the reason why I did it. It was my 3rd job. I did 3 jobs consecutively for 5 years. I'm not kidding. So I watched it and I'm going, I got hooked. And by the time I found out about it, the first 5 seasons were out. The 6th season wasn't out yet. It was on HBO. And I'm like, shit, I'm going to have to wait. But out of the whole run, there was maybe 4 episodes that the writing was like, and the one to me that was the lame one had to do with a bear. Now I'm going, you guys are stretching this for time, aren't you? I said, you don't really have much going, do you? And I just was like, I rolled my eyes, and I liked it. I've always been fascinated, whether it's real or it's fake. Mob stuff. I don't know. I mean, let's face it. Who hasn't watched Goodfather, Goodfellas, Casino, all that kind of even The Irishman over on Netflix, which I finally got to see a different way. And I'm like, I love all that crap. I don't know why. I mean, maybe it was because someone made an offer that I couldn't refuse. So I ended up watching all that stuff. And just as I was getting ready to get up, they pulled me back in. I know. I was groaner.
I don't know. I cannot. I a couple times I've binge watched some shows, but like Better Call Saul, some of those funny ones. But anymore, I can't really. I don't know. I don't have the attention span to sit there and watch. Steve
Van Zandt did a hell of a job. He was the one. Okay, I liked him, and and believe it or not, I had a soft spot for Bobby. Okay, because I'm like, I think he only really was doing it to make the money. He didn't want to go all out. And the way, how far have you gotten? I don't want to spoil anything.
Oh, yeah. I would have to start over.
His death was unique. That's all I'm saying. And I'm just like, oh, not that way. Not to Bobby. What the hell? I'm like, it's wrong. Oh, well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like around that time, too. He goes, all right, my boss. He goes, since you got caught up on that, I got another one for you. What? Deadwood. And I'm going, I watched it. I go, this is like Sopranos in the 1880s. I said, I can deal with this too. And I'm like, and the dude that played Al Swearingen, the bad guy, who I know you're going to roll your eyes, guys out there, but how many of you people have seen the movie Hot Rod? So my son's going, oh, yeah. Andy Samberg. And company, and it's a really goofy movie. He plays the step Al Swearingen, he goes, and he's dying. And basically, one of the punchlines is he goes, Andy gets mad. He goes, I ought to just kick you in the ass. And he goes, well, you'd only be kicking half a man's ass. And then Andy would go, he rips his hair out, gets out of the room because the other guy got him psychological. And I'm like, that's great. So I like all that stuff. Anything with good writing, And you were talking about, what do we want to call them? Afrocentric movies? Afrocentric? I don't know. But needless to say, like I said, it's been probably 30 years since I watched Crooklyn. And I'm like, I barely in the back of my head because my memory is shit. Yeah. But stuff like that. Oh my God, what's the one that it just escaped out of my skull? I don't know. Dang it, there was another one that I watched that I really liked. And I was just like, wow, okay.
They used to, in the 70s, they called the genre blaxploitation.
Thank you.
Yeah. And some people, I mean, it's a film genre. That's what it's called. I mean, it's a little risque to call it that, but I mean, I love the genre. It does, I mean, for its time, even especially,
Yeah.
focuses heavily on black stereotypes, but in a way sort of like reverses it. So it seems like the stereotypes are good rather than negative. So
speaking of that, I'm sorry to interrupt. My buddy Scott up in Illinois, he's like my brother from another mother up there. Okay, he shares a picture with me. They had an all night flea market. I'm the one that got him hooked onto vinyl too. But he's huge into movie memorabilia, posters, autographs. So who shows up for only you get his autograph and a selfie for $10? Fred Williamson.
Oh wow.
Yeah, okay, good. And I'm like going, I had to go back a little bit, and because I'm like, that name sounds damn familiar. And as soon as I saw some of the movies, like I saw that. I'm like, okay, cool. And they actually both looked great. And like Fred is in his early 80s, and the last thing he did was in 2021. For God's sakes, I'm like, wow. I'm like, all right, yeah.
Yeah, shit. There's been a couple blaxploitation movies that have been like a revival.
Okay.
I forget the name of it. There was one that was like God, I'm sorry, I forget the name of it.
It's
anyway.
Okay.
I'm not. I saw it in college, and I totally like it. It was almost like a spoof, like blaxploitation revival.
Sure.
But I'll look it up and I'll let you know. But
Okay.
no, I also like the. I mean, I'm a parody guy, so I like those hip hop parody movies, like Fear of a Black Hat or CB4.
You got me on that. I've seen CB4 with Chris Rock and the gang. Yeah.
We're from different generations. Dave the Pickup Artist. Shout out to Dave the Pickup. Cross 110th Street. 100. He's at 100 or.
He's just 7 blocks away.
Okay, yeah, no, across
7 blocks
110th Street, which, gosh, I should have that 45 just even hanging out in this stack. Even I thought, but yeah, those are the classics, man. I mean, I got a box full of them too, but I don't have a DVD player that works right now either. So I'm sort of like, yeah.
Well, it's okay. Speaking of like soul, okay, I forgot to tell you, and of course, as I've said before, I've said it again. I'm from Chi-Town originally. All right. I'm sorry that I don't have it right at my fingertips to show you, but I was at a Goodwill in Northwest Illinois on the last trip. I was up in 2020, and strange way of doing things. They would put the 45s in these plastic bags, punch a hole, and then stick them on a thingamajig.
Yeah.
And I'm going, what the hell? So I'm pulling through. And I found a couple sites, believe it or not, I'm pulling through. I actually found some local Chicago stuff. Then the next thing I know, on Curtum, I'm like, it ain't super. I'm like, what the? And I'm like, Baby Huey. I'm going, I wish it was the album. I don't have an OG album, but I found that it was a promo 45. It's That's not great, in the best shape, but I was like, I played that thing and I'm like, son of a bitch. I said, I like this shit. And I'm like, no wonder why, because you had to be there, I guess. But a lot of the 60s and early, because he died young. In fact, he didn't almost get that album finished by the time he was dead, Baby Huey. Yeah. But I know a handful of people up there that told me stories about who they saw. And then I hear he goes, I'll tell you something. One of the strangest but great shows. The dude was 400 pounds and just delivered. And I'm going, shit, now I want to see. I don't even know if there's any videos out there of Baby Huey. I come to think of it. It just came into my head. That's why I was telling you.
He was a big guy, and he passed. I don't know when he passed away. I don't know much on his history, but I've had a couple reissues.
Nice.
And then even somewhere I do have like a jacket, like it's an original jacket. Like I just, sometimes you come across a jacket without a record. So I've been lucky on stuff like that, but yeah, would love. I mean, one of these days, I don't know. I kind of feel like the vinyl market might be coming down a little bit. I guess I'll be the first one to tell you, being the discount seller. Oh yeah, no, I mean it's good and it's bad, when you need the sales. But then, on the other hand, hey, I'll get in some records for cheap anyway. But I'm bummed nobody clipped Ace of Spades. That's the only time I ever.
There's your next video.
Hold on, Beetle Babe, why'd you take the stream down? I had to go back and get all your other jams. So no, no, I actually I didn't know how long you were going, and then really the hip hop remixes are what I'm gonna do. But I wouldn't even know what to do with Ace of Spades. But I don't know if you still have that live stream, you should pull it back up.
But yeah, I mean, speaking of reissues, that's okay. That's one of the justifications. All right, and you just brought up a good point. Okay, we brought up on the last episode or the episode before that, we were talking about how what I call these young hipsters, okay, go buy these 180 colored vinyl variants of whatever shit there is that you could go to a used record store and get an OG for $5 to $10. Instead, we want to plunk down 30 and more. And I'm going, okay, look, so you got money to burn. Guess what? Go be economical, you little assholes. Because then you could get it for the price of one new record. You could have an armful of like 5 to 7 albums if you played it right. And you could get more enjoyment out of it. But that Baby Huey is a tough one to find. And so I may actually have to go, okay, I got to get a reissue of that because there's no way. I've never even held a copy of that. There are even early Curtis Mayfield records that are hard to find on Curtum.
And then, even that Baby Huey is like one of those albums, like you just can't have enough of them. Like you can repress it and it will always sell out. It'll always retain the value that it has, or even greater. So, also one of those things you don't want to do too much of, like 13th floor elevators, for example.
Oh yeah, 13. Like I said, my favorite still is Slip Inside This House. Yeah.
I got to get some new internet, Paul.
Yeah, I saw somebody slightly lagging, but I mean, I don't know anymore. I have no right to judge. I had the shittiest internet for quite some time. But what I was going to say is, speaking of Curtum, though, again, real quick, have you ever heard of Ruby Jones? We're talking 1971 on Curtum. Ruby Jones. I had a copy of that in my hands, and I didn't have the damn money. And I should have got it. And I didn't get a chance. That is where, okay, there you are. That is, okay. Well, hang on. Huh?
Okay. You want to know the last thing I said?
No. Yes, but I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. No, I need to get new internet, but the whole rage these days is this fiber optic internet. And they're just like kind of like spreading it around my city right now. So as soon as it's in my area, I'm on the fiber optic shit because, I was listening to you talk about that a few weeks ago about Cox internet.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, no, it's awful.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's the funny thing is, like, I pay over $100 a month for it, or something like that, maybe a little less than that, but not worth it for as often as it craps out.
I'd have to talk to my kid and say, because he lives here too, and maybe if he wants to go with the fiber optic too or not, that would probably obviously be better quality, and I can understand that. But yes, so before I'm not ignoring you in the green room. Just give me a second. So, but yeah, Ruby Jones, that's where Ruby Star came from, and anybody that remembers Black Oak, Arkansas, Jim Dandy and her solo LPs, she was whiskey throated. She was just a little bit different direction than Janis Joplin, but Mayfield was the one that found that band, Ruby Jones, slapped the one album. I was looking for that thing for years. Like I said, had it in my hands, didn't have the damn money. I go, hopefully I'll have by next week. That son of a bitch was gone. I'm like, damn it. So hopefully now, next guest, yes, 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 yes. She can sing. I can't. She
Yeah.
also is good. I heard it dog walking. I actually heard that one of her jobs was to be a dog walker for championship dog shows. Does that mean maybe it went to
Can I have a
the
guess?
went to the dogs? Of course.
Liza Minnelli.
Right. That's Liza
Pretty close.
Minnelli, ladies and gentlemen. Yes.
Oh, I
There
would be
she
honored
is.
if you ever let me, but no, she's
And
never
her
here.
cabaret. Liza Minnelli and her cabaret.
God, I'd love that though.
Jen, I
No,
must
I
say,
just got back from
marvelous.
walking my dog though, so, and I
Okay.
let Paul know that in instant messenger.
Well,
Sorry,
I
I
was gonna say-
have the phone next to me, but I didn't look at that there.
It's
I knew
okay.
the dog walking I saw, but the rest of it, I don't know.
I was just going to say, Jen, marvelous performances last night.
Well, thank you, because I went
Yeah.
for 9.5 freaking hours.
So, did you see your remix video today?
I saw it, and I'm not even mad about it. I'm not even mad about it. I was like, no, this is fair game. I put it out there.
No.
That's fair game.
Well, it wasn't. I wasn't intending to. It wasn't a diss at all. It was just. I thought you would love it. I thought you would love it as
Exactly.
much as
That's why I
me.
was like, people were like messaging me with this. I was like, I don't see a problem here.
Yeah. No, I thought it was funny. I was shocked. Okay, because I put that request that you did. Baby got back, and then
Oh, I forgot we did that.
and then you did that, and then immediately after, I'm like, wait, who requested this? I'm like, no, you're doing this willingly.
No
I'm like,
one did because that rap was requested, and then somebody said, "For the filthiest song you know," I was like, I know just the thing.
well, I don't know that. Yeah, I couldn't even come up with a filthier song than that. But and
I don't
I've
think
heard some
I could
filthy
either
rap
if I
songs.
tried. That was why I was like, well, there's only one thing my mind goes to here. So
Yeah. You know what's funny about Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion is they rap better than most dudes these days.
and they do. They
I
do.
know.
And honestly, that's not my genre, but what little that I've heard, I'm like, yeah, I have respect there. I have respect.
Yeah, I can dig it. I'm sure there's dudes who write their lyrics though, or I don't know. I shouldn't say that.
I'm not sure. I don't know enough about him to say fairly. So
Yeah, no, Cardi B raps pretty hard. I will say, if I were ever in her presence, I'd take cover for something.
probably pretty fair.
Yeah.
Uh,
But no, cool. I got a few things to do before I have my little live stream here. at the
Understood.
top of the hour. But great chatting with you, Paul. And
Well, thank
Beetle
you.
Blade. And I look forward to more karaoke streams here in the future, right?
Oh yeah, of course. Like
Okay.
the last one that I did was a few months ago, and my chat kind of took it as a dare to pick things that would intentionally blow my voice out, and it did so bad to where I had to go a few months without doing them. Usually I try to
Aw.
do one a month, but I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm back, and not only did I come back, this was the longest one I've ever done, and even with them trying to do it again, I still have a speaking voice today, so I'm like, I win!
yes, yes, you do.
Because usually this is
Yay.
like my superhero powers. Like I can sing for hours and hours and hours on end, like all ends of the scale. Never throws it out. I'm not sure how, not sure why. I'm not saying I'm good at it, but I have fun with it. So
So you're telling me you possibly could be like a minor black canary, if you will, if we were to assemble a VC Justice League.
perhaps.
I don't know what Will would be though. I gotta figure that out.
You got me, man. But anyways, I'm gonna jump off here. Great chatting with y'all, and we'll catch you next time.
Thank you
And then
for coming
also
on.
want to let everybody know, if you want to parody Beetle Babe, you got to get that footage real quick.
Yeah, at least for the karaoke ones. The others usually stay up at least a little bit unless there's something objectionable in it. But for the
Yeah.
karaoke ones, I have to pull immediately and like delete just to protect my
Yeah.
channel. But
Oh,
if it
no,
weren't for that, I would be happy to leave them up. But since YouTube is what it is, yeah.
Mm.
No, it's like a George Borden stream. You better be on it or you'll never see it again. But
Exactly. And I mean, I'm always sad about it because I'm like, there's parts of that I wish I could like watch that.
well, you
I'm
can
surprised
watch
he's
the
not
parody,
on
you
today.
know, the
Huh?
WAP remix featuring
Well,
Beetle Babe.
at least there was that was preserved.
Yeah. You know,
Wow.
yeah, if you don't mind, Paul, I'll drop a link in the chat. Can I
Go
do
for
that?
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, guys, check it out. The new Beetle Babe remix featuring Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, remixed by yours truly. So, yeah, awesome.
There it
Thanks.
is for real.
Thanks so much, Jen. And that was amazing. That made my night, literally, because I spent the whole
I
rest of the night
purposely
doing it.
make at least one person's night, and that made it worth any embarrassment I felt while doing it. So
Yeah, don't. Yeah, I that was amazing. I didn't think you were embarrassing yourself at all, but vice versa, there, young man. And I'll be catching you guys later. All right.
I want a peace summit between those two. Those two need to come to a, because I really, I like both of them here. I do. I really do. You two need to do a peace accord. Yes. Hi, Jen. How are you? Glad to see you.
exhausted after 9.5 hours of that last night. I didn't get to bed till like 1 a.m. But
What do you think you're trying to be, the female George Borden? What's going on here?
Oh, there's people who are like 24 hours karaoke star. I was like, God, no. But I'm like, no, each of these keeps getting consecutively longer. It could happen.
Wait a minute. What do you mean he stopped streaming?
Oh, he didn't.
I don't think so. I didn't hear anything about that.
No.
I don't ever see that man ever stop streaming. Just like I'm not going to stop streaming either. I love doing this. Just like Jen, you ain't going to stop streaming. No, why should we? We all have some fun.
Exactly.
Oh,
We're having fun, and that's the whole point of it.
exactly.
Like the haters gonna hate, and that's fine, but the rest of us will have fun.
That's right. They can all have haterade. So, which is not what this sponsored by here. So let me ask.
Somebody else uses that term though, because I use that.
Yeah. Is everything stable in the world for you?
She should be coming home tomorrow. Coming home tomorrow.
I did not want to go off because I know you've been busy. I went off and I asked for, if I could mention for prayers and everything, but since I didn't get an answer, I wasn't going to say anything. So,
Oh, okay.
But it's not common knowledge for most
my community tab. I figured fair game. If I make it public, it's fair game. So
okay. Well, I whatever. But I mean, that's the reason for my logic as to why I didn't say it before. So, but yeah, 9.5 hour stream yesterday. No wonder why y'all whooped.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was all over the place.
Yeah, I mean karaoke time. That's always good.
Because it's one of those things where if there's requests and I know them, I'll do them. No questions asked. If I don't know it, then I'll try to offer something as similar as I can. If there's no requests coming in, then it's dealer's choice, and I'll do whatever the hell I feel like till there's requests. So we ended up with like 2 hours of me just doing random Liza shit just because no one was requesting things. I was like, well, if you want to hear something else, you have to request it.
Everything's coming up roses.
That's what Liza.
It's a cabaret, old chum.
Yeah. Actually, Johnny L requested that one. He paid for that one.
Okay. Good old Johnny L.
Oh yeah, he was like the super chatter of the night. He gave like $30.
Damn, there you
go.
go.
All right, hell yeah.
That's nothing to sneeze at. I'll tell you that right now. I only ever went to a karaoke bar once, and it was just in a seedy little place, that's here in town, actually, right across here. I'm gonna get the eyes rolled here, right across from the trailer park. You betcha. And I'm like,
that makes it so much more fun.
Well, I ended up like meeting a friend there, and I hope she's doing all right. I haven't seen her in forever, but I went up there, and I don't know why, because I know what my singing voice is like. I dropped it. Like, I don't want to say it was Cookie Monster vocal, but you just got to. But people, of course, drunk, they're like, and I'm like, I'll accept the drunk, because I know if you were sober, you guys would go, you suck. And I'm like, yeah. But then I would have turned around and go, but your mother's swallowing. So I don't know.
The irony, you mentioned Cookie Monster. It wasn't this last stream, but there was one karaoke stream where somebody did, in fact, request C is for Cookie. I wish I were joking. I was like, are you serious? You actually, all right. If you are actually serious, okay.
Darren says you did incredible with the Back to the Egg tunes.
Oh, I had a lot of fun with those. And that was towards the end of the night too, where I was getting sleepy, but I was just like, oh, but it's so good. I got to keep going to do these. Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I can't sing. I pretend to though, with the good
Yeah,
old.
that's like me. I don't think I actually can either. But as long as I have fun with it and people are also having fun with it, I'm like, well, why not?
Exactly. That's all. This is all. This is all about fun. That's what it is here. That coffee, and karaoke and
People like Invisible Ray have hated on it before. Just like, you're not gonna make it on like Dancing with the or not Dancing with I forget what it was some British equivalent to like American Idol. I was just like, no one ever said I was.
exactly. And IR is a different bird that I tried watching his last episode, and I'm like, I was done in 5 minutes. I'm like, I can't deal with this. So I'm just like, it bored me. Sorry, IR, but it did. So
And that's the difference here is at least mine are fun.
yes. So let's see. Any because I know you've been very busy, but we were talking a couple shows back. You got any recent musical discoveries or something like that? Like
I wish
it's
I could
on
say
your
that I have, but no. I mean,
No,
I
okay.
I picked up the one hand clapping, but I haven't gotten a chance to listen to it yet. So
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm on the fence on that. I've had several people go off and go, "Oh, it's one of the best McCartney things," and I'm going, I really need to hear it before I bother to spend
I mean,
any money.
I've heard people on both sides of the line with this. I've heard that extreme. I've heard people going, nah, it sucks. We already had this. We really didn't need this. And I'm just like, the truth
Mm,
probably lays somewhere in the middle. And while I
mm,
never had that bootleg to begin with, I did have the documentary. And it was one of my favorite McCartney documentaries, to be fair. So, I mean,
mhm.
I'm excited to hear. I just haven't had the time to sit down and do the thing. So,
Right. Um, yeah, I mean, because like I said, I just remember, what was, God, it was so long ago. I couldn't even remember would it have been 20th, 25th, and maybe 30th anniversary. Best Buy included that DVD, and there was a little bit of one hand clapping on there. I'm going, oh, this is fun. I never even knew about this, at least back
I
then,
knew because VH1, during that McCartney Week thing, right around the time that Flaming Pie came out, they were showing all this McCartney stuff all week. And that was one of the things they showed in the middle of the night. I never even knew the name of that documentary until this release came out. And all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, is that what that was? I love that thing
Nice.
because I caught it a couple minutes into it, so I missed the titles. But
Yeah. Michael Chavez says, are you a Cash fan and are you picking up the new Songwriter LP? Now, to anybody else out there that does not know what this is about, this
I
is
know.
unearthed by his son John Carter Cash, if I remember correctly on this, and other people, of course.
Johnny Cash, gotcha. Okay.
Yes, and these were demos that he did between his tenure at Mercury, which didn't last very long, and before Deaf American stuff, the good stuff. Okay, so there is an album. They found the demos, and two of those songs also happen to have singing background Waylon Jennings. Now, so there's going to be, I want to say it's 92, 93 roughly. I could be wrong on the year. Which, by the way, anybody that's fans of Waylon Jennings, there also is undiscovered stuff getting released in 2025. Shooter Jennings, I am told, was involved. So we're going to have some nice outlaw country releases coming out. By the way, speaking of outlaw country, if you will, Willie, please get better. Go, if you need to smoke more weed to get yourself better, do it at 91, because we know you're whether you love him or hate him, he is a musical American treasure. And who also went off. Yeah, and okay, now listen, I have a handful of times I've ever, okay. Now, would I with Willie? Yeah, because I know I won't. 3 days later is when I'm finally, the fog's going to come out, and I'm in the middle of Texas and out at a truck stop going, what eating eggs going, where the fuck, what, how did I land here? It'd be one of those kind of things, right? So,
Probably.
but yes, I would do that. I had somebody ask me, would I with Snoop? And I'm going, yeah, maybe. No, my kid's
What
going,
if
no.
Stewart does with Snoop? Come on, he's got to be fun to do that with.
Also fucks with blood.
Oh.
He's wish-washy. He's like a politician. of rap.
He's wishy-washy, I guess. He went off and used to say about the Crips and then the Bloods. I don't know, whatever. But I get it. So no, but yeah. So no Kronk with him. Anyways, I know you people out there going, Kronk, what the fuck? He's 50, almost 57. I know.
Stop it. Martha Stewart's way older than him, and she does it with him.
Yeah, how the hell is that? Martha Stewart and him being friends? I'm like, what the hell?
I feel like this started when they started co-hosting the Puppy Bowl together a few years ago.
Oh,
and this
God, I
just
forgot about
became
the
a
Puppy
thing.
Bowl. Shit.
Oh, I watch the Puppy Bowl every year.
Speaking of that, I saw my little felonious grandcat around somewhere, but of course, I don't know where Toby Tobins is. Toby Tobins has not been here for the last couple episodes. Toby Tobins attempted to escape the last time I was here. When the Domino's, not sponsored by Domino's, but when the Domino's pizza lady showed up, knocked on the door, opened it up, and Toby snuck out, but didn't go very far. We're like, listen here, you cat. But yes.
See, this is like the mortal fear I have with my new puppy and everything is that like she follows my dad everywhere, including to the front door. He has a bad habit of opening the front door to talk to people and just leaves it open while he talks. Like, that dog is right there. All it would take is her just going, and she'd be out.
Yes.
I'm like, can you not, sir, please?
Toby, you better not be crapping in anything of mine. Yeah. There's a game here we play around this house, but while I was in Jonesboro, I played the game too, and I know you guys are going to roll your eyes on this one. Anytime I ever had to expel rear gas, I go, Toby, and the grandson, Ethan, here. Come here for a second, Ethan. He was on earlier. I'll let him get on there. So, So, Ethan. So, isn't it true that Papa Paul goes off, and anytime that gas is expelled, I go, Toby, when Toby's in the room. And the first time he's like, that wasn't Toby. That was you, Papa Paul. I'm like,
That's me.
Oh, it's the grandbabies that gotta bust you.
Yeah, but here's the thing. The other day when he was here, I mean, the summer he's been here a lot longer, and he expelled gas, and he goes, and he said quietly, he goes, Toby, and I'm going, and so Toby's like, so I'm in Jonesboro in the hotel at the Hilton. Oh yeah, here he had a party, Lilo and Stitch. That's what he said. Oh, Toby.
Toby.
Come here. Come here. Oh well. And so I, had good food, and right middle of the night, I'm like, Toby, and I that's like the running thing now. It doesn't matter. And Toby's not gonna come over here. I think Toby's like, screw that. I ain't gonna go. Okay, here, take it. All right. And he's like, screw that. I'm gonna go look out the window. For my escape plan. You better not, Toby. All right, I don't know who's on, but I guess I went from 20 to 12 people. I guess nobody wants to hear about cats. That's all.
Or they don't want to hear about parts, one or the other.
Yeah, I'm going to have to wrap this up in a teensy-weensy bit. Not this minute, so don't leave yet, you 12. So, let's see.
If it makes you feel any better, I busted my grandpa for dressing up as Santa at Christmas time and everything. Because I was the eldest grandbaby, and just like, you're not Santa, you smell like Papa. And it's like, no, I'm Santa. It's just like, no, you're Papa.
I would have been like, you little shit. I don't know what you're talking about. He's out there. He said something. He's going Christmas gifts at the last minute. Turns at you alone really quick and goes, so help me God. And then,
every year it's the same thing, where that'd be the thing. Is the minute Santa leaves, he magically is back in the room. And, oh, you missed Santa again, who smelled just like you.
except for some reason he had a different elf with him. What? How did
There
that
was no
happen?
elf. I wish there'd been an elf. But
A nice, never mind. Anyways, God, now I got that in my head, Jen. Thanks. I won't even tell you who I'm thinking of as the elf. Anyways,
oh no.
so as we like to do on this show before I scram, now I'm going to have Santa in my head all day. We try to show some vinyl to justify, hey, vinyl. So being from Chicagoland, and in the past, some people never even knew about this group. This group was around in the mid to late 1960s, and there was a version of it up until about the early O's, when unfortunately Jimmy Rogers, that was his name, passed away. The Mods, I know it's a little glary, but the Mods, Hold On Mercury. Here's the front, here's the back. They're hit probably off of this album seriously, as all these are going to be covers. They did a great version of Harlem Shuffle and Knock on Wood. This here is also a Dunwich production, as it shows. We talked about Dunwich. Eventually, we're going to do an episode on Dunwich, which I think will be interesting, and we'll cover a bunch of groups, going from Shadows of Night to Styx to early Styx to a few others. Now, I like me some metal. I do. Some people don't think that I really don't care for metal. I do like the metal. As Jack, like, the metal. I like the metal. Yes, my kids say, Rock tried to destroy the metal. Oh yeah, that's right. Because you went to see Tenacious D, and they got to play that one. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, she says nice. My friend.
Somebody dressed up as Megatron on the stage.
Oh, he was dressed up as Megatron.
Oh my
while
god,
doing
that's
this.
awesome.
So, of course, I got KK's Priest, the first album. I need to go off. That's KK Downing from Judas Priest and Company. Here's the front. Here's the back. Ripper Owens, of course, singing on this. And let's see here. Clear. All right. Clear, crystal clear vinyl, if you will. And then this was, like I said, this was limited edition. Also, it just came out of here as soon as I was getting ready to show. I like albums that at least come with the CDs too, so that you can listen to it no matter where you're at.
I wish more people would do that, actually.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, it doesn't. Let's face it, it doesn't really cost a hell of a lot more. Pennies to do, really, if you think about it. So,
but they view it as, well, this is potential for an extra sale if they win all the things. Like, yeah, but most of us aren't doing that. So
yeah, and of course this, I mean, and well, this one was actually reasonably priced. I've always liked. Oh, damn it! I'm just gonna leave it there. The thing, I hate it when things don't want to go back in sleeves. So then we go off to, and I know you guys are gonna go roll your eyes and go, well, what the hell? This is pretty basic. I've had this for many, many years. I found this in the early O's at a garage sale outside in a farmhouse of all places in Marengo, Illinois. And there was a big box, and it was all hair metal, heavy metal. And I bought most of the damn box. Turned around and go off, and I said, whose collection is this? Who's selling this? My grandson. And I went off and I said, I really would love to meet him. He's got an awesome taste in music, to which she then replied, because I should have inserted foot and mouth on me, that he passed away and all of this was his. And I turned to the lady and I said, I assure you that it is going to a good home, all of these records, and I will keep these probably until I am gone. And I think I've so far have kept the promise. Now, here's the front and here's the back, but here's what I wanted to show you guys, because now it's not in the best of shape, but I am told that a OG press of this does not have songwriting credits. Now, I'm sorry. I know I can't go very much due to the glare,
right.
But this is what you'd be looking like for Kill 'Em All. So I think this is a true first press U.S. release. Okay. Of course, Megaforce, being the big one, which who helped on Megaforce? Eddie Trunk, you betcha. Love him or hate him, he's interesting. Eddie Trunk.
Fun.
Okay. One of my when I went to this concert with my late wife Jessica in 2016, I tried to find the hit album that they had, but I couldn't find it in my damn collection. I had an OG. So I managed to find another one shortly before this appearance, and that was one of the only times I've ever been to Tulsa. Did I live on Tulsa time when I was there? Maybe. But I went to Kane's Ballroom. Great place. If you ever zip through Tulsa, anybody, go check it out. Even if there's not a show, you're going to love the musical history that's in this place. There's lots of original posters all over the joint. But the Violent Femmes played. And, after Blister in the Sun, which is the only thing pretty much anybody would know, Wendy's even used it in a commercial, which I'm like, what the hell? But they had a heck of a lot more than Blister in the Sun. I couldn't find that. I don't know what the title is, but it's the girl peeking through the window, the classic one. So I ended up finding Hallowed Ground. And Violent Femmes being a trio, 2/3 of the original lineup. I got Brian, the bass player, to sign this. Here's the front. Here's the back. Gordo was sick that day, and on Stiff Records. That's what this is. So there. Why does nothing want to go back in? Because it gets stuck. That is what he said. Anyways. Yeah. Let's see. Was that it? Yeah, that was it for today on that stuff anyway. I'm going to go back and do this. And
it all adds up, so it's just what you can afford at any given time. It's one of those things where I'm like, didn't buy any music, but I mean, music related. I mean, I bought a makeup collection that was inspired by David Bowie's Labyrinth, if that counts as anything.
Really?
I haven't gotten here yet, but the artwork on the website looks freaking amazing, and this is like the fastest that I've gone, shut up and take my money in a while.
That's seriously that.
I know, I was just like, the fact that it was that of all things, I was like, I need to own this. I'll kick myself later if I don't.
Yeah. I don't blame you on any of that. I just wish I had more money. Not that I need money to burn, for God's sakes. But I mean, after bills and stuff like that,
right.
I mean, I ain't dirt poor, but I'm just not, I wish I maybe could, you wouldn't, okay. I know I keep throwing this out there. You wouldn't catch me paying $1,000 for a big box set. Even if I had the option, I'm not going to do it. I'll take the 2 CD or 3 CD or 4 CD. I'm like, I don't need all the bells and whistles. I just want, and if it has, sure, they make all these discs. There's plenty of interesting outtakes. You betcha. Take my money. If they ever, I mean, what was it? Rhino Handmade for the Monkees. I wish I could afford every one of those. They are so ridiculously priced on eBay now.
God, I know. I kick myself because it was like, of my 3 big bands, I thought that would be the safe one that, I can put those off till later and come back to them another time and pick them up. I'll worry about like the Beatles and the Who for now. And then now I'm like, and yet those are the ones that go for the most on the secondhand market. I'm like, how did that happen?
And as of early this week, the Blu-ray's still available on Rhino, and you get the 45 and everything. But I'm like, huh? What was that?
I said, grab it while you can. Although
I know, but it's
how every time it sells out and they claim this is the very last ones we have.
Yeah, see, that's horseshit.
And then
they got to be making more.
Another pallet every time. I'm like,
yeah.
Sure you do. Sure you do.
And then when I did try to buy it, I couldn't do it. It was on the damn page, and it wouldn't accept my credit card information. I'm like, what the hell? And I found out why later. But you know what? It turned out, I hate to say this, that it was fortunate I didn't spend the money at that time because something happened in an emergency and I needed that money. So I'm like, thank God, I guess, for that. But yeah. So let's see. What the heck? There was something else. Hang on a second. I've been meaning to show this for a couple shows now. Where the hell is it? I showed that one already. Give me a second. Entertain him for a minute.
All right. No one's really saying much in the chat, so it's hard to know what am I bouncing off of. I knew there was something. What's that in reference to? But yeah, it was like all of the super deluxe ones. I mean, I thought they were insane when they came out. Like the original self-titled album, I've seen it go for over 700 now. I'm like, oh, that makes me ill.
It's crazy. Let's see. Darren says, I wasn't happy spending what I did for the month, but you know what though? You're going to be happy with that. I saw your posts, okay? And nice choice to start out with your box set when you played it. I saw it, but I was out, like I said, in Jonesboro, and let's say, yeah. So what I wanted to show, excuse me, Toby. No, I'm just kidding. I wasn't. So I showed the last time on this, but this one here, I was thinking about getting it, and then Steve Schnee talked about it, and I'm like, you know what? He's right, because I'm a big fan of Badfinger anyway. And I'm like, I've been trying to get all of the other stuff too. So I did go and get a copy of I Am Myself, which is Tom Evans. All right. These are demos from 1967 to 70 is what this stack. Same label too, by the way, as the Pete Ham Gwent Gardens. The Y&T music, not to be confused with the band Y&T. There's no Summertime Girls here. But still, I'm glad to have this. Very, very little actually ever landed on a Badfinger album. The original demo to Fisherman is one of them. But let's see here. Here's the back. He's pointing to it. Oh, he's got his eyes closed, his one eye closed, like didn't like the Illuminati, isn't that one of the things?
No,
there?
that was the like one circle around it or something.
Oh, and that, don't be like that. I don't know. No, that's Tom Petty. You don't want to be like that. Anyways, so then yeah, and then of course there's an explanation on everything that's in here. 21 tracks. Cannot wait, like I said, to listen to this. An old school photo, even in the inlay. You are here, is what he says on the t-shirt. So they only made 1,000 of these, only 1,000 copies. And according to, I don't know if it was Schnee or the music label, this was made with the permission of the estate of Tom Evans. So Mary Ann, his late wife and company. So maybe that's all they wanted cranked out. So I know that once again, another scenario, deepdiscount.com does not have them, but the last time I checked, Amazon. But there's not that many. So if you're a Badfinger fan, pull the trigger. I'm probably going to be doing soon review episodes for Gwent Gardens and I Am Myself, along with bunches of other things. There, I will say this: I'm about ready to wrap this up, guys, here in a minute or two. Don't run away. I see I have 15 people. Just hang on, because I know you guys like doing that. And I don't even know who's on, if anybody's on anyway, but I don't care. So I communicated through email because I asked them to. And we may have a nice potential interview coming.
Ooh.
Yes, it probably will be maybe sometime in the next 2 months. I'm trying to set things up for August, September, because July is still just going to kind of be busy, and I think I can line things up accordingly. But this gentleman has, you know how 6 Degrees of Separation?
Mm-hmm.
This particular gentleman, who I think is still on the scene in session work, you can connect, oh boy, you can connect the Village People to the Monkees.
Really?
With this gentleman.
How so?
That's all I'm saying. You nerds that can figure it out or go investigate, you're probably going to figure that out pretty easy. But we are in communications right now. And I think he said no problem. We just kind of have to arrange this. And yeah, I mean, that gentleman has been on the musical scene since I think 1980. So yeah, we're talking, early 80s VP. So we're gonna wrap this up because I do have to take care of something. I got to run an errand. Yeah. I think you and everybody else, to tell you the truth, I heard about this and I want one too. That is my favorite Monkees album: Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn, and Jones. And I'm pleasantly can say that I have a true mono. Found it at a Goodwill for $1 in beautiful shape. Somebody dumped their Monkees albums. The first 5, I bought them all. Because they were in such great shape. I'm like, who dumped this? And when I got to Birds Bees, I was hoping, because I'm like, all the other ones were mono. And I'm like, son of a bitch, it's stereo, like all the other copies. I'm like, damn it. Yeah, $1 a piece. I'm like, spent $5 for 5 albums. Hey, they ain't like that for $1 at Goodwill anymore. But
No kidding.
yes, but I would certainly love a box set for Pisces, and hopefully they will figure that out down the road. I was going to bring up something. I forgot what the hell it was. I tripped on some solo monkey stuff. Oh, so I'll have to try to pull a link maybe in the next episode.
Yeah.
There is a tape that was, it's an old tape, but it was just, to me, it's new, of a 1984 solo show of Peter.
Okay.
And the tape is out there. It's not the best quality. And I am told there was some strange instances that happened at this show. And I am going, I don't care. It's 84 Peter Tork. I want to hear this stuff. So I've got the link. Hi, Kimba. I hate to say this, you're just coming in here just as I'm about ready to walk out, but I'm glad you're here. It's always nice to have Jen and Kimba and all the beautiful people here. And the Psycho Platter Show, everybody's like, oh, this fuckery's going on too long. But like I said, I appreciate.
You're going on too long. I went on for 9.5 hours.
Well, no, I mean in the goofiness. Yeah, nobody can touch you or George in those long streams. There's no way. Better late than ugly. Ha 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 ha. And unfortunately for me, it's the other way around for me. I've always been fugly, but that's a different story altogether for another day. But we're gonna shoot for Wednesday, everybody, again, and maybe I did alert the VC Justice League, but everybody's probably working or busy or something. I know Darren was here on the panel out here on the gallery comments, and so I want to thank Jen and Will. And like I said, love him or hate him, I still like having him because of the record thing. I like his rap and soul collection. I think it's awesome. Some of the stuff I actually am a little envious, a little bit. But then wasn't there a song called Oh Paul? I'll tell you the one that cracked me up. I tripped on it on a 45. I think it was about 12, 18 months ago. And that's Tall Paul. What a goofy song that was. That was from around 1960. Tall Paul. Or the classic, Hey, hey, Paula, I'm gonna marry you. Anyways, all right. So Wednesday, maybe around 6 p.m. again. We'll try 6 p.m. Central Time. Could be slightly earlier, but something tells me 6. Because I've got such a busy day that day. I got to take somebody to a doctor appointment, go to the record store to try to sell the box of records because I went to go sell and they weren't there. They were supposed to be there. There was somebody else. And I'm like, damn it. I drove all this way. And then a doctor appointment for me. Nope, just a checkup. Nothing too crazy. So as Karen says, have a great evening, one and all. Thank you. I'm going to drop myself to this. And everybody take care. God bless. Rock on. Always powered by coffee each and every time because it's a Psycho Platter promise. Any coffee companies, come on, sponsor me, please. I'd love it. I don't know. Whatever. I know. I don't understand. I've reached out and everybody's like,
reached out to me and I didn't even have to try. So you're actively trying.
Well,
I don't get why they
no
don't.
offense. You don't have to really try. You exude, and that seems to be all that you need to do. We love it, though, that you exude and go far and beyond. That is a assessment from me. Anyway, all right. So everybody, take care. Have yourselves a great evening, and stay tuned for whatever live stream that's up now. I have no clue. Bye, everybody.
Bye.